Alright, man. Fixing to load a load of telephone poles to go to Kai Ken Key over to Vance, Alabama. And of course, these are ones that, well, telephone poles, power poles, light poles, whatever you want to call them. I pull them myself. The funny thing is I can't tell them if they're standing, but you get them laying on the ground. A lot of times I don't even have to pick them up. I can just say, I know that's a pole there. But I get quite a few questions. I mean, a lot of questions. I'm getting 4,000 or so comments every 28 days on my YouTube stuff. And a lot of the comments are questions. And I got one last night that I didn't answer in a comment because it's just kind of complicated. The guy wanted to know why I load the way I do. You know, sometimes I pick up one tree, sometimes I pick up 3 or 4, you know, stuff like that. There's really no, I mean, there's different things. I mean, these trees are different lengths and stuff. And so I'm trying to wall the outsides up with my long stuff and then fill in the centers with my middle. So every time I put trees down, I'm looking for my holes, how I'm going to build it. It's just like building a house. You can't start with the roof first. You have to start with the, you know, with the bottom, with the your walls coming up and then go all the way to the roof. And that's kind of the way loading a log truck is. You're going to have to do the same thing. You have to build your load. So, example, you can't put a short tree here on the side that don't catch the bolsters. You got to keep that short stuff in the middle. See, like I've got a hole in the middle there, which all these are telephone poles. So, you know, they're all long, so it doesn't really matter. You know, I'm not really having no bad holes to deal with. And see, like that right there, I picked up 3. 3 was going to be a little bit more than I wanted to deal with, so I just dropped 1, put 2 on there. So it's just all kinds of different things. But another question that I've never addressed, and I've been asked it a bunch of times, is why do we here in the southeast do we log like we do? Example, meaning us, TDK Logging here, we run a West Coast setup, and they're asking why don't everybody else run what I call a West Coast style setup, a processor, a track loader, and a track feller buncher. And I never really have ever addressed that question, but I'm fixing to now. Things are done a lot different here in the southeast, and this is it in a nutshell right here. The cheapest way to put a tree on a truck and get it into the mill, here it is. The cheapest way to get a tree on a truck is with a rubber tire, feller buncher, tree cutter, shear, a 4-wheel skidder, like a 648 size skidder, John Deere, or, you know, Caterpillar, whatever flavor you want. But you see what I'm saying, that size machine with a grapple on it. And then a trailer mounted loader, knuckle boom loader, with a pull through delimber mounted on the front, maybe a cut up saw, some people call them buck saws on the ground, a ground saw. That is the cheapest way to put a tree on a truck. And it all boils down to whether the company that you're working for, whether it's a large company or if it's a timber buyer, an individual buying timber, or you're a logger buyer, you're looking for the best way to save money. And that's it in a nutshell. That's the cheapest way to put a tree on a truck. It's not necessarily the most efficient way, but as far as upfront cost, that's the cheapest route to go. And so that's why you see this type of stuff run in this area. And let me add to it, we don't have the cut to length stuff like you see out west. Most of our mills are still very old that are around here. We've got some newer ones, but not many. But they do all the merchandising at the mill. So we're just basically looking for a top diameter, a length and a top diameter is primarily the two things that we're looking for when we're logging. Now, all right, so you ask, well, why do we run the way that we run? If it costs, you know, the upfront cost is a lot more. Because you can look at the upfront cost is a lot more, but look, we've been running the processor and this track loader since 2008. So you got to figure, okay, well, the upfront costs that much, but look at how long you can run these machines. See, like a trailer mounted loader and a delimber pulling this kind of wood through the delimber, you would work on that boom and the delimber pretty hard, and it's not near as abusive on the processor as what it is on a trailer mounted loader. Now, the reason that we run what we run, that we opted to go the route that we went, is because I run a machine, Kevin runs a machine, and Derek runs a machine. We wanted the easiest machines to run, powerful to where you wasn't running in the strain. You know, what I get you down to? We run two 410s. We had a 410E, or we had a 410D, and then we traded off, got a 410E, and then about a year or so later we got a 410EX, and that's what I run, was the EX. Kevin run the E. I put about, I think it was 17,000 hours on that machine, and running some of this big pine, this old woolly pine, you fought with that stuff to get it through a delimber, and some days you'd be just wore and slap out. Same way with cutting with a rubber tire buncher on these hills and stuff like that. You just wear yourself out. And so we wanted something better, even though it costed more money up front, because we are the ones running the machines, me and Kevin and Derek, and that's what we did. That's what we did was take that and buy what we bought. And like I said, you know, I'm not sure about the cost if you figure it out over the amount of years that we're running this stuff. You know, if you were running this stuff and you were going to try to trade it for 4 years or so, no, you couldn't do that. Let me see how long this video. But that's it in a nutshell. And see, out west, you know, California and Oregon and Canada, the BC area up there, and then all across Canada, you know, over to Ontario and everything, and even up in Maine, you know, some of your large companies up there, like Weyerhaeuser, for instance, like in the Northwest, it's about a 50-50 split still of a contract logger, which is like us, compared to a company crew. See, here in the Southeast, there's no company crews. It's all contract loggers like us. They tried to run, let me write this load down. They tried to run company crews here with Weyerhaeuser back in the 70s and the 80s, and it didn't work. For some reason, this area here has always been pretty unique about different things and stuff like that. But so you got that, and then the mills out there are predominantly, you know, cut to length type stuff too. So that's the reason why you see the differences now. If some mills start really upgrading, you're going to see more cut to length stuff, you know, in our area. And hey, if that ever happens and that comes to it, who do you think sitting in the catbird seat can? I mean, because I can field a call at any time if they want us to cut anything up in any kind of multiples, whatever it is. I can take a call. I can tell Kevin. He sets it in the computer. We're running. We're gone and just blasting it right on out. So, and we'll continue to run like we are. If we have to trade the processor or get another processor or anything, we'll get another processor. We're not gonna stop doing it the way we're doing it. So I just thought I'd answer a couple of those questions that I get. I like getting the questions. Some of them I'm just not gonna answer. I get lot of messages from people asking me about different things about the company that we work for. I'm not going to answer those questions. I'm just going to kind of be vanilla on them, because I'm not going to say anything that's going to incriminate me or anything like that. You know the old saying, you don't bite the hand that feeds you? So that's what you do. So we'll see y'all.